there is a difference between a restaurant where you go to eat and a restaurant that you go to have an experience.
The drama.
Yeah, because it's a
What's the,
different
what's
thing.
the specific differences?
I think the restaurant that you go to eat, it is delicious, and you go and you order what you want. You know what you want. You have a great time. It's not about like I think that like how great the time is. It just depends on you, you know, like or who are you going with? Because at the end of the day, hospitality is for you to have fun. But the restaurant that you just go to eat, that is the goal. The goal is to eat, and what you eat is going to be incredible and meaningful. If you're talking about high quality, we're not talking about going to like I don't know, like to whatever chicken shop.
Wimpy,
Yeah, exactly. We are talking about la creme de la creme. You know, like the best restaurant, but it's a la carte, and you get a whole turbot, or you get like an amazing lobster dish, or an amazing steak, or whatever. It's great. It's amazing, but that's it. Where you go to a fine dining restaurant, you are going to someone's world, and they design the experience for you, and there's a script. You know, there is a script, there is a performance. So the it's like when you go to a kaiseki restaurant in Kyoto. That
Wait, kaiseki restaurant. Is that when you go on your knees?
kaiseki is like the kaiseki is like the beginning of fine dining. You know, like it's the very first
Oh, really?
tasting menu. Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't even know
Like
this.
very old, like hundreds and hundreds
When
of
was the
years
first tasting
tradition.
menu?
I have no idea,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
it is
Quite a
a
while
very
back.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are restaurants that are like 300 years old and stuff like that. And what they do is they give you a tasting menu, and every plate will be designed by a craft maker in the region, and then every dish will show you an ingredient, and it will show you a technique. They could put everything together on a bowl of rice and then just like smack the meat on top, and you have it, and you go to eat amazing meat and rice.
Yeah.
But what they did, it's an experience to elevate what the craft and to showcase their vision of what food can be excelled to. And that is what kaiseki is start doing. And obviously then French like fine dining and stuff like that, to be like, okay, well, this is a dish that no one else can do.
Yes.
You know, and that is something that in the new world, let's say, now how I see it is as a performance. You know, you go to this restaurant and you suddenly sit down, like we're gonna give you all the best that we can do.
In terms of getting this whole vision to happen, what's been the hardest bit of getting what I experienced on Friday to happen?
I think the hardest thing to master is patience. You know,
I've got no patience at all, man.
because you have to understand that this is a long game. You know, and there is two sides of things. One side is your own craft and your own like evolution as a chef, like to be like, okay, well, you're gonna learn how to cook, and you gotta do it for a long time, you know. And then when you finally open your restaurant, is to understand that that's just the beginning. You know, mostly if it's a restaurant like this one that is, as you said, like it goes beyond. You know, if it's a restaurant that you set a menu and a concept and that's it, then you don't have to move it too much. You know, because then it's like, okay, well, let's just change the garnish on this, and that's it. But then if you are creating something that will have such a tremendous ambition as this place to be like one of the best restaurants in the world,
Yeah.
you gotta be patient. And then it's very I have, as you said, I have the final say in terms of like until what time we stay, right? And like
Until what time?
what time we stay, right? Working or shooting,
Okay,
you know, like
yeah.
at what time
Yeah.
you stay until 12 or 11, or do you care about the people that work for you
Yeah.
to be enough to be patient and understanding of like, all right, we are here, we have this restaurant, we have this ambition, but let's go slowly, you know. And what I always like, what I mean, I always put my team first, but also the most important thing is that when I opened this restaurant, we have this beautiful building, like beautiful design, like everything is just, we have the press, we have the concept, we have everything, we have the crockery, we have the team, but it's like you having a Ferrari, but you got to start driving it as a bicycle, because like, and at the end of the day, I feel like I'm the driver, but the team is the engine, So then if they are not at the level of what we want to do, it's not possible, like it's basically not possible to drive faster, So then I have the decision of how fast we drive, but also I got to learn as well. So then you have to understand as well, and that is the hardest thing. And the biggest lesson that I had when I opened this restaurant and in the last 5 years is that I understood that I didn't know everything. Like, and that I understood it really quickly. Like, I'm like, whoa, like when you look back on the dishes that you're doing a year after and the year before, I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that again. And then the year after is the same. It's like, oh my God, why am I like, that's so embarrassing, And then you keep this evolution, but also some sort of self-awareness of being like, oh my God, man, I wasn't ready. And I'm still not ready. And I'm still learning. And then you start you start to understand that you're in a journey of collective growth. That you have to grow, you have the opportunity to grow with individuals that are adding to the table a lot by being patient and be like, okay, well, this is a long game. And the better that we do, and that's what I always tell the guys, is like, the better that we do what we do, the more that we're going to grow. And then when we finally do everything perfect, then I raise the bar, and then you just keep going like that,
There's a quote I love, and I have no patience at all. Like, and one thing I've learned is so it's by Tim Ferriss, which is slow is smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth is fast.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes the best advice you give doesn't mean you probably need to take it yourself.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, let's fucking go. Like, let's keep going.
Yeah.
And one of my things on that is macro patience, micro impatience.
Yeah.
So day to day, I'm trying to move as fast as I can with this, getting better and better.
Yeah.
But understanding this is a long game. Like, we've been doing this for 5 years, and it's only now beginning.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of, like, you're the driver of the Ferrari, but you need to put the team's the petrol, and you can't go anywhere unless there's petrol in the car.
Yeah.
Is there an example of where have just gone like, and the kind of the coal car has kind of veered off into the bushes, or
always
any specific examples?
I mean, like, I think I think mainly when you don't know about this, like at the beginning.
There's no sat nav.
At the beginning, it was very complicated times. I mean, like, we opened in COVID.
Yeah.
In 2020 in October, and I felt like so much responsibility and pressure, because I was like, okay, well, finally, and then that is where you get to understand where you sit, because I think it is. So
when you say understand where you sit, what do you mean?
Where you sit, like how good we are.
Oh, okay. Like, versus other restaurants.
Yeah, exactly. Or like just how good you are in on yourself and like everything. I mean, like, at the end of the day, I mean, like, I never, there is a whole team here, So then everyone wants to do something, and that they all believe on, but it takes a long time to have the right team as well, and like to like. They change, like everyone changed, I changed, everyone. So then I think when it goes a little bit out of track is where the team is not in the right place. Because the thing is that it is this, as you said, like the difference between a restaurant and a movie is that this is more like a play. Here you gotta perform every day, and that's the thing, like it was really quickly when I understand that it's like, okay, well, let's just do 5 courses, you know. let's not do 10 courses, let's do the 5 courses. And it was, you know, like people had to leave like for a curfew at like 10 p.m. And we had to wear masks, and we were open and closed, and I will go home like completely devastated, like no, like not devastated, but like drained of like trying to control everything and everyone, and every detail of everything that I thought that it wasn't good enough. But it wasn't because of the team. It was because I didn't like I didn't understand, as I said, where we sit or what can we do. And then I think the big work is to be able to be like, okay, well, I gotta trust everyone, and my job is not to do everything and control everything. My job is to make sure that the communication is right, that people know what they're doing and where we're going, you know. So then that is where, when it's going off track, it's just basically because there's not enough communication or the right communication. Because at the end of the day, this, you're working with a team, you know, like and you're working with people, you know, and that's important to understand. Like, we are not in a bistro with 4 people where you can just say like, okay, well, let's put more salt here, let's do this. Because there's just such an enormous amount of things that you can't control, that is more important to focus on communication and make people better and growth than controlling, you know.
Yeah. So I love that. So it's like the first sort of thing, because also world class is something I think people should aspire to be.
Yeah.
Not everyone, if you don't want to, but I think
Yeah.
it's so you said sort of patience, kind of self-awareness, and almost driving the car less like that, but like letting it kind of your hands release,
Yeah.
so you're letting other people trust in team. What are other sort of principles in terms of that you've picked of trying to be world class, of being world class? You're one of the best restaurants in the world.
I think it's about enjoying beautiful things.
Enjoying beautiful
Yeah,
things.
I mean, like, I want to do something beautiful, you know, like I want to do something better, but not because I have to, you know. And I think that is something that I've been realizing with the years, that I'm like, I'm not here because my job is for everything to be perfect and everything to be better. I just like it, you know, like, and I'm that kind of person that it's just like, if I sit down with a plate of food, I will question it, you know, and I will question myself, and I will look into the presentation, or I will looking at the flavor or whatever it is, and just like, I love making things a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because I just like, that is where I find my peace. You know, I find my peace by evolving.
Mate,
You know?
this is so good. So like the amount of, so sometimes people say like founders and entrepreneurs, they're like constantly, I've interviewed hundreds of these people, right?
Yeah.
And like they're constantly unhappy, like, you know, they're never satisfied. They're
Yeah.
they're slacking me at just like,
Yeah.
being like, we need to improve this, we need to improve this. And I'm like, and what you've just hit the nail on the head there, Santi, of like, no, what I've realized is the process of making things better,
Yeah.
the relentless pursuit of better,
Yeah.
beautiful things.
Yeah.
In that space between improvement and beautiful,
Yeah.
people, founders and creatives find peace.
Yes.
And I totally agree
Yeah.
with that. It's just that level of like,
Yeah. And
you're
then like,
so focused on,
and just also like questioning, you know, like, how can we, you know, how can we do this better? But it's not because I have to do it or I have the pressure of doing it, because at the beginning I felt that way. I felt that I felt that I had to deliver something new, or I have to deliver something better
yeah,
constantly. And that's draining, you know, like, that's like, it's a lot of pressure to be in a position where you're like, everyone is expecting.
So what,
for
what
me to do
was this when
something
you
better.
opened the restaurant?
Yeah. When I opened
Yeah.
the restaurant, exactly. So you're like, everyone is expecting for me to come out with stuff that are new and better all the time.
How did you deal with that pressure? Like when you go home to your,
It was.
I want to get into. I saw a video of you. Apparently, you were like eating ham in fucking. Like, I want to get, because we've talked about it's joke. Like, no, it's not joke.
Yeah,
It's insane,
yeah,
but like the kind of the adage of the restaurant is Mexican soul,
Yeah.
British ingredients.
Yeah.
I believe there's there's skin in the game.
Yeah.
As in like you're committed.
Yeah.
And there's fucking soul in the game.
Yeah.
Like, you eating packets of ham in Ladbroke
Yeah.
Grove is soul in the game. Like, we got to make this work. And so I want to get into that. But like, what you know, how do you deal with that pressure when you're walking back? You've just opened. It's bloody COVID.
Yeah.
And you're going back to Ladbroke Grove.
Yeah.
Eating ham.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
when were you met when eating ham? But
well, the thing is that there has been a process to open this restaurant, and it's been a process of creating something new, because we are not doing traditional Mexican recipes.
Yes.
I'm not this executive chef that comes here and puts a menu together, and that's it. You know, like, this concept is being developed from scratch to basically be something new. But the process of creating something like that is now natural for us, it was painful, you know, and it was very difficult, because when I moved here, I was like, okay, I want to do Mexican-inspired food with British ingredients, that it doesn't feel like too traditional, that it works together and it looks iconic and beautiful. And it's pretty fine, like, it's pretty refined to create something so unique that will become world class. That is something that you can write down. But then in the moment that you are in the field doing it, it's frustrating, because it's like, okay, I just actually don't know how to do that. Like, I never lived here before. I didn't understand anything about wild British food. And I understood Mexican traditional food, but then I wanted to create it without Mexican ingredients. And I thought that it would work, but I didn't have a direction. And for a year, I was also 27 years old.
So young, yeah.
So then when I finally got the investor, like, work with my business partners and the investment, we rent a house in. I moved from Kidbrook to East Acton, and we had this house, and I was developing the recipes, but they didn't taste good, and that was so frustrating. I was doing 14 dishes a week.
And it's so interesting what you're saying there, because it's like, sometimes the map is not the terrain, or like this in terms of movies, the script is not the reality. So you may have like Steven Spielberg may have an idea of what fucking Yoda looks like, but in reality, it's like, how do you get a little, you know, well, that's a shit example, but you know what I'm saying. But so, is there a specific example of, like, a dish that on the script you had this vision of Mexican soul, British ingredients? You're in this flat in Acton, it's late at night, and it's just not working. Like,
I mean, there's so many things. I mean, like, there is this razor clam toast with beans and razor clams that it sounds really well, like, really good. So it was a sourdough bread toasted with scallop emulsion.
Mm-hmm.
Like a fudge made with scallops that it was like in the toast, and then razor clams. And beans. So it was like a bean and scallop, like, paste, like fudge.
Yeah.
And then the razor clams on top, and rocks on fire, and that is a dish that it sounds good, and it tasted good, but it wasn't right. It didn't look right. I want the food. I don't know if you've seen the food of Cole, but it's like, it's very polished.
Yeah,
it's like very iconic.
Yeah.
But I didn't know.
It's dramatic.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't know how to do that, and it wasn't right, and it wasn't. I mean, like, we did like, I was saying we were doing 18 recipes every weekend, and then we try it, and then everyone would say that it was good. No one will be like, oh, this is shit, or this is not good. But I knew that it wasn't good enough.
That's when the director comes in.
I knew that it wasn't good enough, but then it's like, no one is saying to you, like, we were already opening the restaurant anyway. In a year's time, because it takes a long time to get a site and everything. But in my gut, I felt that what I was doing wasn't good enough. It was good for a bistro,
What
but
were
it
the
wasn't
changes
good.
you made to just take it to that next level?
So that's the thing. Like, it was really hard because we did like 120 recipes in the year, and then
Wow.
we only choose 5. I only thought that 5 of those recipes were good enough to open this restaurant, and then when we open, we have some good reviews and everything. I will obviously never use those recipes again, like most of them, like now.
What were the recipes?
I mean, like, it was like a beetroot tostada with the. Oh, actually, it was lamb leg, like sear lamb leg, that it was dressed with fermented gooseberries and walnut oil, and then an emulsion of chilies around it with a tostada on top. Yeah, I mean, like I mean, like, it was good food, but then we just choose 5 recipes, right? And then after a month, 2 months, I was like, okay, well, now I need to make more recipes. But then now I don't have a year to make 120 recipes and choose 5. I have 2 weeks.